if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, really do the research on it. Know that you are going to be working more than a 9 to 5, especially starting out. So I would just recommend research.
Welcome to the We Got Problems podcast with co-hosts Curtis G. Martin, Rhonda L. Brown, and Caliph Johnson Sr., the one and only podcast where solutions get discussed to our community's everyday troubles. Each week, you will hear mind-blowing conversations and actionable tips and strategies that you can implement in your daily life to become more effective. We got problems and we got solutions.
All right, you guys, welcome to the show. This is We Got Problems, the podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Rhonda L. Brown.
Hey, everybody.
I'm here with my second co-host, Mr. Caliph Johnson Sr.
Peace, y'all. How y'all doing?
And like I said, I'm Curtis G. Martin. Hey, you guys, today's episode, we're going to talk about being an entrepreneur. Is it being an entrepreneur for everybody, and how do you guys make it as an entrepreneur? What's the gimme on being an entrepreneur? Y'all talk to me.
I don't think it's for everybody, because we have those people out there that they're not really self-starters. They'd rather just, go work for somebody else, do what they got to do, and go home.
You get a lot of people, though, they say, like, oh, you got to be an entrepreneur, you got to own a business. And then clearly we know it's not for some people, right? But why you think, Trash?
But, everybody don't really sit down and take the proper steps into going into business. Some people just want to jump in because it's a fad or they heard somebody else did it, so they're trying to catch a wave of what the next person is doing. When you're not being uniquely yourself and you're not doing it because it's your goal, it's someone else's goal, or you go into it trying to make money, then if that's your primary focus, then you will never really have a passion after you make bread. So a lot of people go into it for the wrong things. And when you get into it for the wrong things, it's really easy to get, it's a discouraging road sometimes when you're going through these bumps and hurdles as an entrepreneur, trying to get your business up, trying to spend all your money to get this thing going, and you might not be getting the amount of response that you want immediately. You don't get the support that you want from like the people who you think will be your number one supporters. You expect your friends and your family to be your number one supporters, but they're usually the last one to catch on to the wave after you done did all the grinding and the building and everything else that it takes to get there. So it's really a lonely road being an entrepreneur, but it's way more than enough of us out here. And there's some people doing good business out here. Everybody don't get into it to do good business. Some people get into it to make a fast buck. And when you get into it for that reason, you find all kind of different avenues that's going to have you cutting corners somewhere. Like maybe I can go ahead and skimp on the quality of product just so I can make a few extra bucks.
Or get the cheapest product.
Mm-hmm.
Quality over quantity. You know what I mean? If your customers are getting quality products, they'll much rather be served with a quality product than to get a bunch of malarkey. You know what I mean? You can give me a lot of crap and say it's gold, but you can give me one piece of gold and let it be valued at what you say it is. So I believe in giving quality over quantity.
Yeah, and I think that gives you longevity in your business too, because like if I go to somebody like a private business and they got Dollar Tree stuff, but they charging me like top dollar for it, I'm like,
Dollar Tree. They got Dollar Tree products and want $9.97 to come on in, huh?
right, I'm not coming back. Like, that means you don't even value your business, because if you value your business, you will value my business and give me good product.
Just because you're given a business price, you still have to be competitive with the market. Just because you're a entrepreneur and you don't have the overhead of some of the businesses, that's not the problem of your customer. You know what I mean? That's just something as an entrepreneur you have to figure out. And if you're giving something and you're charging top dollar, it better be top quality. Don't give me.
But What about these entrepreneurs though? I hear them say it all the time. Like, oh man, you gonna work your 9 to 5 and you giving these people your time, you trading your time for dollars, and they telling everybody, man, you need to quit that job. You working for the white man. I hear all these stories, man.
They
But
crazy. They crazy, bro. Those people who are doing that, they don't have families to take care of. Those are people staying on their mama's couches. Those are people who maybe hit a lick or something or got something else going on while they're trying to act like they're doing something that they're not. That's not reality. The reality of it is to make sure you can earn 3 times what you make at your 9 to 5 for 3 months straight, and then you can kind of start talking trash about your job, because now your job is getting in the way of you making real bread. Because if you're making 3 times what you're making on your job, then you might need to move on. And that's not crapping on your job, but I've always been taught to actually mind your business. That's what we were taught. Mind your business. You let your job be the
the
fund.
investor, yeah, the
Yeah, that's
investor.
your investor. That's where you get your funds from. You invest in yourself with your quality time, and you take your free time to invest in yourself. You know what I mean? You give them their time like you're supposed to. You know what I mean? Click your keys, check into your Zoom calls, whatever you got to do to get your bread. Now that you get your bread, you take care of yourself and your family and everything you need to do. And then you also put some to the side to make sure you're minding your business. You're letting this job fund what your dreams are and what you have aspirations for, and you build it from the ground up, so you don't have anybody teaching you what your business is. And sometimes you're going to have to make mistakes, sometimes you're going to have to outsource. It's going to be all kind of stuff you go through in business to try and make sure your product is a good quality product and you're presenting yourself correctly. But the last thing you want to do is let somebody else discourage you or gas you up to go do something that you ain't prepared to do.
Yeah, I definitely won't let nobody tell me to quit my job, right? But I do believe in having accountability partners, right? Somebody that's gonna hold me accountable. Like I think we do that good, right? With our group, we dropping stuff in the chat. Hey, who doing this? Hey, why this not done? Hey, when we gonna get this? We need to talk about this, right? Like that's accountability, right? Amongst us. And then I do believe in having mentors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to have mentors, right? You got to have somebody that has done what you're trying to do, and then they can teach you the ropes, right? And then also behind that, I think you should have a coach. Now that coach, the mentor, all three of them are equally important to me, from accountability partner to the coach to the mentor, right? So I'm gonna use that accountability partner. That's gonna be my day-to-day person, where we holding each other accountable, getting stuff done. Then my coach, he gonna help me run the plays. We're gonna lay out the plays, right? Then my mentor is gonna say what's a good choice to do and what's a good choice not to do, right? Like, I don't think you should do this, you should do this. I tried this and then do this. I'm gonna give you the perfect example. This podcast I used to listen to, Entrepreneurs on Fire, or EOF, or whatever he called it, Entrepreneur on Fire, I think he called it. But anyway, this guy, he did a daily podcast, and already doing them weekly is something. And a pat on the back for us, because we're a year in something strong right now, and we constantly getting better, right? But this guy decided to do a daily podcast. His mentor and coaches told him, no, don't do that, I don't think it's possible, right? Nobody does that. And then he decided to do it anyway. And now he has one of the most successful podcasts that's out there. Right. And he do kind of like we do, right? We try to knock ours out for the month in one day, right? So
Mhm.
he do 8 in a day. So not only do he have one for each day of the week, he have an extra one. So after 7 days, now he got 7 extra ones,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, or I'm sorry, after a month, he got 4 extras.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? No, I ain't doing the math
Yeah,
right.
you're
Right.
doing you're doing the math right. If you do eight a day, you'll have 4 extra.
Yeah, he got 4 extra ones at the end of the month. Right. So he got 4 extras. And then by the time you look up, I think he like a couple of months ahead now, right? Like he got a couple of months in store. So now he can go on vacation and his business will still run. Right. So I thought that was good. Even though I do believe in the mentors and the coaches, sometimes you got to jump out on your idea, do the market research, find that pain point, right? Once you know you found that pain point to where people pay for you to heal their pain, right? Like if you had a headache right now, you going to see the doctor, right? That headache just splitting, you going to see the doctor. Hey, what can you do for this, man? He gonna say, hey, I got these pills, but they gonna cost you this much. Damn, that much? No, I'm cool. That headache gonna bring you back and say, let me get them pills, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But anyway.
Mhm. But you also, when you say, you use your 9 to 5 to fund your business, you also need to use your 9 to 5 to learn everything that you can about what you're doing. Like, obviously, they have a successful company. You need to find out what they're doing that makes it successful. So, like payroll, just the small things that you don't think about doing. You need to know exactly what they do so you can implement it in your business as well. So you have a better chance. So not only, not just using the funding, using the information, you need to learn something at your 9 to 5 that's going to benefit you, not just go there, do the work and go home.
I
And that's
think
what most people do.
I think one of the best jobs that I've ever had, it was working as an independent contractor where you went door to door as a salesman. And they do the laws of average there. You talk to 100 people, 10 of them will say yes. You know what I mean? So you just make sure you get to your numbers and you just stay moving. And each time they teach you to keep you, the next sale is going to be the one. So if the next door going to be the one, so you automatically take somebody just cussing you out, a dog almost biting you on the last doorstep. You pop up to that next doorstep with the same smile and the same energy, ready to icebreaker, ready to close, ready to do your intro. All of the stuff that you go through and through the process of going through these deals, we were out there selling pizza. I had kids like, hey, there go the pizza guy here, just with good energy moving through the universe. You would be surprised how people start flocking to you. And you got to remember, you're never selling a product. You're always selling yourself. So it was just like, that was one of the best jobs that I've ever had because it taught me the importance of mastering myself for the business. So you're now looking at yourself not as just a person that works there. You're actually looking at someone who's learning a business to teach to your clients when you're doing stuff. So you know what I mean? Definitely don't let the job just be a place where you're sitting up not getting any information from. You have to sit there and get as much knowledge on how the bosses move, how they, you know what I mean, what time they come in, what time they leave, what their job is, how they're manipulating the staff, you know what I mean? It's
How they
all
interact. Yeah.
it's all kind of lessons that you can learn from a job that you shouldn't take lightly.
Hey, you know something you said about that. You knock on 100 doors, you're gonna sell so many. Like for every 100 doors, you're gonna sell 10, right?
Yes.
I think it's a missing element to that old analogy because you can also add because once you start learning as you go door to door, right? You know different things to do because I did the door to door thing at one time too. So you know if you see a guy in a suit, you might or look like he just got off work. You might want to say something to lighten up his day about work, right? Something
Icebreakers.
to some icebreaker toward work or a stay-at-home mom, some type icebreaker to be staying at home, right? Like whatever the case may be, she come to the door with a glass of wine, right? Like maybe a little lightweight icebreaker there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't know if you guys remember when we did the DISC assessment, right?
Mm-hmm.
The DISC assessment is a newer technology, but DISC assessment lets you learn people, right? And now as you learn the concept behind DISC assessment, and they have other assessments as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one I used to be a part of was a lot different than DISC assessment, so that's the one I'm doing now. But anyway, once you can learn how those different types of people is, and it's always in the 4 groups, most of the ones I've seen, and then then it's always in colors, right? Like some of the ones I used in the past was colors. Once you can learn these people and their mannerisms, right? The way they talk, the way their emotions, right? Now you can tap into that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you could tap into that because you can know how to communicate with them. So if I know your profile, so to speak, right? Like if I put you in one of these 4 categories, now I'm gonna speak to you from this category only. I'm not gonna give you everything in my book hoping something stick. I'm gonna talk to you like what I think you are, and then now you're gonna get more sales, right? Like I think what DG used to call it, uh, infiltrate. What he used to call it? Y'all remember? He used to have a little saying.
Infiltrate, educate, and vacate.
Educate, infiltrate, educate, and vacate. That's it. I like that one. But anyway, that's because that's what I do at my job, right? Like my job allows me to teach, right? And I'm not a high school teacher. I teach adults. So that's my audience is adults, right? So me being in front of adults, getting to speak to adults every day, I find ways to let my job help me with being on stage. I was able to use that presence from my job to control the room, right? Because I do it every day and I practice it. I practice asking people questions to give me some feedback, and then I feed on that. I still do my entrepreneur thing. Like every chance I get, I'm selling a book everywhere I'm at. I keep books with me, right? Now I'm finna get to the point where the whole family gonna have something to sell. Like, son, go up there and make a sale. You got to make a sale today, right? Like, we finna get this entrepreneur thing down because I don't want my kids to actually work for nobody. You can go to college. I'm cool with that, even though we holler college is a scam. Sometimes we have to go to college, right? We can't all be entrepreneurs. Some of us got to be doctors. Some of us got to be lawyers, right? So we're gonna have to go if we want to really dissect this system and infiltrate this system into making it fair or making it into something that we can use, right?
We need politicians, we need lawyers, we need doctors, we need architects, we need all of the things that Common Core were designed to go ahead and start elevating youth to go towards. That was the whole purpose of them changing up our learning system in this country. And when they switched California to Common Core, when my son was in kindergarten, so it was about what, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, that California switched over to strictly Common Core. So their goal was to always take our youth and make them look at a problem from 3 different angles. So the math problem that we used to do A, B, and C, they changed that you got to look at it from D, you got to understand it from E, and you got to be able to word it from F. So they've taken one problem, they cut the amount of problems down, so you're not doing a big volume anymore, but they want you to get a better understanding. And that's what we're trying to get our youth to go to now, more of the architects, the science jobs, clean energy, just making sure we have those resources that we can source in-house instead of, you know what I mean, sub leasing our jobs to this country out to everybody else. You got all these travelers that come from all other countries. You got all of these doctors that come from all under other countries. We got all of these lawyers that come from all other countries, when we could actually be getting some of that from homegrown, and we should be getting it homegrown.
Yep, we definitely need we definitely, like, schooling ain't a bad thing. Like, we make it into a bad thing. I think when you go to school for 4 years and you studied American culture, right? Like, yeah, that's BS, right? Where can you use that at, right? Like, but you want to get something that you can use, right? If I can go learn this medicine, and then now I got this doctor's degree behind me. Now, even if I went into a natural state of healing, right? At least I have the background to say what's what, right? And it's more
PhD though,
believable.
PhD will follow me.
Yeah, and with the going back to the DIS assessment, that helps even if you are an entrepreneur. When you go to hire employees, you want to know what type of person that you're hiring for that, for, like, let's say a manager position. You don't want to hire somebody to be a manager if they, if they're shy, if they don't know how to do stuff, if they're not a self-starter. So, that will come in really handy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can't wait to get that rolled out. But yeah, like we said, entrepreneurship not for everybody. But what I do think that everybody should know, like some of the stuff I hear that's out there going around now is, yeah, entrepreneurship not for everybody, but everybody should be saving and investing. Everybody should be on a budget, right? Like, we got to teach all these things when we teaching something, right? Like, this guy brought it to me. He said, Kurt, you teaching these guys how to get their credit straight, man. Most of them be in worse shape than when you met them, right? After you done with them. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, so I got to teach people how to budget, right? Because if you don't have no budget and now all of a sudden you got access to 100,000, you couldn't keep 1,000.
Right.
Right. So now you got this credit worth 100,000. You finna blow it. You gonna go in the hole. Right. And I think even with business, we got to teach budgeting. Right. We got to teach investing. I was telling a guy the other day, and he looked at me amazed. Man, I said, man, you know your job, your goal shouldn't be to go out and get a job to make money to pay bills. That shouldn't be your goal. If I'm gonna go and work a job, giving them my time for money, then I'm gonna make that money make me some money. Right? That money ain't just going on bills. That money got to go make some money. Right?
Got to
Once it,
flip.
yeah, once it got to flip. Right? Once it become a gymnastic, once it get on the gymnastic team, then now it can go pay some bills. But you got to make that money
18
flip.
toes down, baby. You know that money gotta go. That money gotta go.
Yeah,
So
you
if
got to get out there.
you're using it for the right thing, it could be a beautiful thing. So you definitely, one thing I've noticed personally, that some people get into this entrepreneur space and they want to do it because they've seen it, they watched all the YouTube videos, and then when it actually comes down to customer service and realize that you're in a customer service business and that you are nothing without your clients, you're nothing without your clientele. So people get caught up with doing things their way and they don't understand who is the real the real focal point. You know what I mean? Doing good business goes so much farther than just handing a person a product. Doing good business is the greeting. Doing good business is the conversation. Doing good business is being punctual. Doing good business is actually answering calls, answering emails, making sure your clients are first. I've done business with people who didn't value the client and didn't value the sacred oath of me handing my hard-earned money for a service. And the moment that I pay for a service, I expect to get what I paid for. You know what I mean? Everybody once they get your money, sometimes these entrepreneurs want to treat you the way they want to treat you now that they have your money and now you're just a person. No, my money is my power. I want my money back if you don't give me what I pay for. You know what I mean? You can't just say I'm an entrepreneur and do shitty business and think people are going to be open to continue to do business with you.
Hey,
Right.
sometimes, go ahead, Rhonda.
I was gonna say, and you can't think that being an entrepreneur, yeah, you make your own hours, but you really don't, because it's a lot more hours than a 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's at least getting started, right? Like you
Yeah.
got to put in the hours, and then you got to learn the systems to make it passive, right? To make it automated, right? Once you can get it automated to where now I don't have to go out sending emails, right? Like I can automate these emails. As soon as you click this link and you go inside of here, then now you're gonna get a bunch of different emails to send to you on things you need to do, right? Like with my credit repair system, if they go through um financial credit system, then once they get in, the emails just start coming and telling them what to do. Then they can log into the back end and get their own letters out and mail their letters. But yeah, it's crazy how you get guys out here now that they only think about the funnel, right? Once they get you in their funnel, they just trying to squeeze you out that bottom. So they got this expensive product here or this least expensive product here. They get your email address, they give you that free product. Then that next level, they're gonna squeeze $100 out of you, right? Then the next one they squeeze 300 out of you. Now they get 10,000 out of you, right? And then now they want to drop you in that next funnel or pass you off to a partner, right? Like so you got to be careful too about these guys that's telling you to be entrepreneurs and all they want to do is just get you in their funnel, right? They ain't really trying to make you successful, or they ain't really telling you the real deal of the hard work that it takes to really get things done. And if not hard work, then putting the systems in place, right? Like not knowing a system, what makes it hard for me, right? Like you know, the work is easy to me, but not knowing the system is what make it hard, because now I have to do a bunch of research, or now I have to pay somebody to teach me, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's why I liked when we read the 48 Laws of Power. You know, we of course didn't agree with everything, but there are people out here that follow those. that, they don't care who they use them on. So at least, like, I think that was a consensus for everybody. Like, at least we know what to look for now, you know. So I think, for me personally, I think that's one book that every entrepreneur, or even if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, you need to read that book.
Hey, I'm gonna
Just
tell you something else you need to know too. You need to know oh damn, how to say it. I can't think of the name of it now. I can't think of the name now, but anyway, it's gonna come back to me. No, it's not a book. It's a
Oh,
program.
but again, like I think from my perspective, you know, it's a big responsibility to holding up a brand. It's a big responsibility to actually running a business, because the business don't run unless it actually is being ran properly. It can run down into the ground, it could just spiral out of control, or it could be ran up in a way that you can actually feed your family and build a legacy off of. But it's based off the person who's driving the engine. You know what I mean? Some people put too much on their plate and think that they can do it all themselves. And when you put it all on your plate and it's all on you, and you don't delegate, you don't ask for help, you don't utilize the avenues that are provided, or that would be provided if you were smart enough to ask for them. You know what I mean? Sometimes people want to take all of the stuff on and never end up eating a frog. You know what I mean? When you
Oh, that's another book we read, huh? Eat that frog, man. Uh-huh.
So, you know what I mean? Then you find yourself swap. You find yourself just swamped down in little things that aren't the priority of the day, and sometimes we prioritize poorly.
Eating them
And
little frogs.
yeah, our priority isn't where they need to be, and when you don't prioritize properly, you can have a whole business go totally in the crapper because you didn't take care of your business. And taking care of your business is everything, man. Just doing good business is everything. Your client, your all we have out here is our word and our name. You know what I mean? So you don't want to jeopardize the quality of your name and your business or your brand to get a few extra dollars. You know
Yeah,
what I
so
mean?
yeah, I remembered that one. So we said 48 laws of power is something we need to know so we can know when something's being played on us, right?
Mhm.
Also, neuro linguistic programming is what it's called, NLP. I don't know why it slipped me, but you need to learn NLP. Trust me, if y'all go and learn NLP, I'm talking to everybody that's listening. If you go learn NLP, you're gonna look at some of these entrepreneurs and say, "Oh, they full of shit." Now I know. Now I know what they're doing, right? Like now I know, right? Like it's a cold game out here, right? When you think of 48 laws of power, then a bunch of these other things, right? Like,
mhm.
but NLP digs deep, man. And then when you think about people are spending millions of dollars to learn about you so they can know how to market to you so they can what they call it my homeboy Pops used to say so he can abstract your money from your pocket to his, right? He used to say abstract too. He wanted to make sure.
I'm sure you
Hey,
know what I was doing.
yeah, hey, I ain't gonna never forget that. Because we used to say, man, abstract. He like, yeah, you know when you go to the dentist, they take a tooth out, they call it abstracting. That's what he used to tell us. But yeah, no, they use these tools to get your money, really, right? Like to build a rapport, to build a relationship with you. So
Yeah.
Right, and that's good. Build a relationship, but have quality product or services.
and then be really genuine with the tools, right? Don't
Have
Exactly.
use
good intentions. Exactly. You got
yeah,
to have good intentions. You
yeah,
don't take these tools and use them for evil.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of these people, like using, like when we use the 48 laws of power or NLP, like when you're using it to take advantage of people,
Excuse me.
or to go into it just with one sole goal in mind, to get money. Like getting money is cool, right? But what are you willing to do to get that money? So Now you have to really grab a mirror and see who you are as a person, because it's a lot of shitty businesses out there. You know what I mean? You drug business is a dirty game, but people jump into it every day. Being an officer of the law, it's a dirty game, but people jump into it every day. So you have all of these people when you get into entrepreneurship. It's some good businesses that you're not trying to rip nobody off, and there's some schemes that you're trying to run to get a quick buck. You got to be real precise on where you find yourself in this business space, because I've had clients call me and like, yo, I ordered something and I didn't get my product. I said, say less. I'm gonna make sure you get your product. So now I can go ahead. Here is track. Bam. I know you got your product this time. And I handle it on the back end as far as the business side on what I need to do. But as long as I'm taking care of my clients and I'm using them as my primary focus, because their reviews are everything to me. When a client comes back and they show me them sitting on the beach in some other part of the world, or I got a client over in France, you know what I mean, opening up a book saying, thank you, this really changed my life. Now I can use that report to go to the universe. I'm not asking the universe for nothing that I'm not willing to work for. I'm asking the universe for everything that's owed to me. You know, I do good business. I make sure I give people the same treatment that I want to get in return. So people don't look at it like that. When you treat people other than the way you want to be treated, then you know what you're doing. If you don't want a person talking to you like that, why the hell would you talk like that to one of your clients? Like, why would you be short with one of your clients when you on the phone? You don't want nobody to be short with you on the phone. If you wouldn't want somebody in business, you go into them, you told them that you purchased their product. If you call Sears, you call Johnson and Johnson, you call any of these major companies, and you tell them that you have a gripe or complaint, they're not going to call you and tell you you're wrong. Well, how can we fix it? That's what business is. You try and make sure your customers. Now you got to siphon through the BS as well. Like, you can't keep on thinking you're gonna screw me and think I'm a dummy. Like, no, you do good business. You protect yourself on the back end, but you go into it all the time. The customer is always right in a business of service.
And what's funny though is that I think a lot of times too, we take our product and we don't value our product and we sell it for cheap. And when we sell our product for cheap, what end up happening is when you do need to take care of a customer, it's a loss for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because now you basically giving it away. Like that's one reason I like books, and the cat's out the bag for everybody listening. You need to write a book, right? Like, I know that I have a book that I paid $3 for to have it shipped to me. I paid $3 for it, but it's gonna cost you $100. Now, if I had to give somebody one of them, I'm still in my profit margin. You know what I'm talking about? But if I paid $3 for that book and I'm selling that book for $6 and it cost me $2 to send it, I made $1. Now, when I have to give somebody one, I'm in the red. I'm in the hole, right? So we gotta make sure we understand how to get our product right. Why Nike can have a good service, right? Why Nike can pay spokespeople millions of dollars, right? Because they sell $200 shoes that cost them $5. So
Mm-hmm.
don't be mad at my book. My book got the information in it that you need, right? These shoes gonna wear out. That book still gonna leave that information in you.
Yeah.
Just in case you change strategy.
No, that's what I'm talking about. So see, but people gonna miss that though, right? Like, they ain't gonna think about strategies to master their money, right? Like, as entrepreneurs, what about your medical? Like, you got to think about you finna get your job up to become an entrepreneur. Now, what you gonna do for medical? Right? You had your medical benefits paid over here for pennies on the dollar. Now you was paying $200 a month for a family of 5, right, through your company. Now you finna go over here and work. Now you paying 800-900, right? I ain't saying stay at the job, right? Like, but like I said, it ain't for everybody, and you got to have good
Mhm.
timing behind it. If you're gonna leave your job, you got to have
And you
great time.
definitely got to have good intentions too.
Yep.
Definitely have good intentions, because it's a lot of people in there. Like, you'll go through, you make a bunch of money, and now what you gonna do with it? Are you gonna sit there and say, look at me, I got all this money, ha ha ha, Or are you gonna go ahead and say this is the community that we've been building? So here, I'm putting everybody on. Let's work. Here,
And then having
everybody
that next project too. You got to always have that next project in mind, that next investment, right?
push it. Like you gotta push you, and you gotta be doing it for the right reasons. If money is your only purpose in this, uh, money is cool, but money ain't gonna make you a good person. Having 10, if you were a shitty person before you had 10 million, you get 10 million,
You're
10
just
million,
a shitty person with 10 million.
you're just a shittier person with a
Yeah.
lot more avenues to be shitty. You know what I mean? And then we find ourselves wondering, like, what the hell happened? Be careful who you support. Everybody don't need your support. You know what I mean? Support people who deserve your support, who's earned your support, who's done good business and treated you fairly in the process. Those are the entrepreneurs you support. And I'm not telling you not to support people, but everybody don't do good business. And I don't want to have to sit there and see you do no corny shit to try and sell nothing. I don't need to see the latest fights on your page for you to sell me a hair care product. You know what I mean? I don't need to see somebody getting beat half to death for you to try and sell a piece of clothing. You know what I mean? I don't want to just see a video of somebody getting beat half to death for me to go buy an item of clothing, or, you know what I mean? Maybe it's a book or whatever you might be selling on your page. I don't want to have to see no corny shit to go to your page to go buy it. I want to
But
actually see the product.
you know what's crazy though is yeah, we got to have better strategies at marketing our products, but sometimes, man, everybody attention span is just so off. Everybody energy so off to where that's what catch them, right? Like I remember having a post one time, man, where I had a girl. Actually, I was just learning social media too, but she she was twerking, right? And I only played 5 seconds of it, right? Like she was all in the screen too, her whole backside with like a bikini on, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
bikini was the same color as her skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
So guys were really into that first 5 seconds. Then I come on hitting the screen. Hey, hey, get back focused, man. Get to back doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? It was one of them. I wasn't even selling nothing. It was one of them ones just to say, stay focused out here, right? But that video did so good just because where your attention initially was, right? So I get why people do it, because everybody looking for whatever they looking for, right? Like,
But it's hard though. People be jumping on gimmicks and stuff. Now the Will Smith stuff then died down. What people looking for the next content? Like, you know what I mean? Them gimmicks kind of get old sometimes. Like what you said, using it to get attention to what you're saying. Boop, 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 boop. We not doing this goofy shit. We over here. Here go the message. That's taking something corny and actually putting something solid behind it. That's putting foundation to some corny shit and getting their mind focused, like you said, on the right thing. We understand that our people like turn up. We understand our people like fighting. We understand the violence and stuff. All of that sex sells. I get it. But that don't mean that got to be the primary focus of your product. Your product is your business. And don't let that. I think a lot of people get caught up letting the gimmicks be the whole thing, and that's all they have to offer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't have nothing else to offer. Like everything else go wrong, take your clothes off. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here selling trash vegan stuff with no shirt on. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I see that a lot too, man. Dudes quick to take their shirt off, man. Like, oh man, I don't know what's
The
that.
females do too. They'll be selling something, not clothes, but they won't have hardly any on, and it's like, all right, well, unfollow, because if you got to do all that, then your product
Jump
ain't
out of my little bath towel and stuff, but we got books for sale.
No, the one that get me is when somebody like, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? And boom, automatically they start twerking. Like, as soon as the attention got there, like, shit, what happened there? How did that how you doing turn into twerking match?
right.
But
But
anyway,
like we were saying, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. You do have to know what you're getting into. I would recommend people go volunteer. You can learn stuff volunteering too. and they'll be more apt to tell you things, to help you out, especially if they know what you're doing and you're doing it for the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you're not, because even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, go volunteer anyway, just because.
Yep.
Service.
Hey,
That's
hey, I, I
important.
would I would say too, while you working your 9 to 5, go to events, any events you can go to, listen to podcasts. We got problems, right? What other podcasts you can listen to? Um, join a group like we got problems after dark, right? Where we getting in a room and we discussing ideas and how to get stuff done. Um, find a mentor. Stay at your 9 to 5, right? Stay at your 9 to 5. Start building your product. Start building your services. Get it all out there. Start marketing it, and then now once it blow up, now you already in the position to possibly leave. If you leave now and you get out there with a box full of products and none of them sell, rent still due, right? Rent's still gonna be due. So make sure before you jump out there in this entrepreneur thing, make sure you have it right. Like definitely, I think Trash, you said something earlier, and we've been discussing this as a group. Once you can get your salary 3 months, your yearly salary 3 months in a row, then you truly ready for to be in this world of entrepreneurship, right? Like just go for it then, because you can now the job is in your way of making money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once the job becomes in your way, then it's time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know it's time. But anyway, some people can take that leap of faith and just jump out there, right? Like if I would have done it before I created all these bills, right? Then I would have had a better routine, right? Like so I'm good with the budget thing, right? Like I'm down with the budget thing. Like people don't know, like I watch guys that have a whole bunch of cars and they don't have no money,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't have no whole bunch of cars, but when it's time to do something, I'm there. I got the money to go. You say let's go to dinner right now at this fancy restaurant, I can go. You say let's do something way out. Let's just go fly to San Diego and have dinner and fly back. I can
Let's go
go.
catch a PJ. We got that, bro. I'm
Yeah, I
good
can
for it.
go.
My credit say I can go wherever I want to on this planet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So stuff like that, just get that budget thing down. Um, Start investing once you budgeting and saving, then start investing, then start building your company, then build your product and services, and then now you start selling, do the social media thing. A lot of people don't like doing the social media thing, but if you're gonna be in business nowadays, you have to. Like that was one of the last things that they got me on. I was like, man, I ain't into doing the whole Facebook, letting everybody know where I'm at every move. Immediately I said, man, people house gonna get robbed. They like, oh, I'm all at the restaurant right now. Oh, he should be there for another hour. Let me run up in his spot real quick.
That's exactly how I think. Growing up in the city, that's the main reason why social media was so uncool to me. It took for me to get with my group right now, my members, to really pull me out of my shell on who I was and to who I need to become to actually be successful at business. And I am a work in progress. I'm telling you, I stay getting my head bust open by these two up here, but they keep me on point. My accountability partners, they make sure I'm not being complacent, and they make sure I'm doing the work and I'm not being satisfied with where I'm at. You need people like that to make sure you're on your square and you're pushing towards the goal that we all have. Because once you get a team that is really dependent on you being successful, every one of us are. My success depends on my team being successful. My team's success depends on me being successful, and we legitimately are our own entities, and we can all survive on our own. But as a team, we're a force, and we all have to be successful individually to come together and make our team stand strong. So it's a responsibility of being accountable and doing good business. I can't be sitting here in good faith and I know my team members doing bad business. Even if they made a mistake, we got to get it right. And it's our obligation to get that mistake right. But I'll be ill serving to my team if I knew they were doing bad business and I sit there instead next to somebody doing bad business. That's a reflection on yourself. So my team do great business. I know they 1000% on everything they say. and I make sure I'm the same way. So, getting in business is a big responsibility, but doing good business is an even bigger responsibility because it's not about just getting into it. It's about actually doing something for the community and actually leaving something for your next generation. Because I didn't have that business introduction, or I didn't have that information laid out for me. My son got great business credit already because I learned how to put him and my daughters on my credit card. So them thousands and thousands that I pay off on my credit card goes towards their credit history. So doing good business is important. That's why you have a good team around you guiding you through it.
Definitely. If look, you got to have you a team. I don't care if you a solopreneur, you still got to have a team.
Hey, you know what's cool too is we got a couple of teams and we're on both of the teams, right? Like
Mhm.
Mhm.
so what's cool about how we came together, we was in a group. Um I remember when 15 of us came out of that group and now it's only like 5 of us.
Mhm.
Right? It was 15 of us got together, 5 of us in that group. 5 of us have a nonprofit. Us three have a company together, CRC Empire, which is finna be one of the biggest companies around. We calling it a media company because we finna do everything media. Um, I don't know. We're gonna have some other little joint ventures that we do. We
A
put
little.
yeah, we're gonna have some other big joint ventures that we do, and we're gonna bring people together and teach people how to make money and teach people how to have joint ventures with us. Like one of the things that I've seen that when people join our group, you instantly become an entrepreneur because we're gonna help you get your credit fixed so you can have the resources to start doing some stuff. Then we're gonna help you write a book. Right, we're gonna help you get that book done every step of the way, and then that book gonna get you to where you have something to sell. We'll help you put a course together. We got somebody on the team that can help you with NFTs. We got somebody on the team that can help you with cryptocurrency, with day trading. We got somebody on the team that's going to get you in the fitness, start getting you some meal plans. We have it to where everything needed for an entrepreneur is ready because what's wealth without health,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
We
Right.
also got you, we can also get you all the way right in business. So if you need to get your website done, if you need to go ahead and get your website hosted, if you already have a website, you need a place to host it. You need anything as far as what you need to get your business started, you can tap in with us. Somebody on the team can definitely help you out. That's a one-stop shop.
Yep. If we can't help you, we got other people that can get you going with your we're getting you a store created. We can get you some merchandise. Like, what do you need to get started? Somebody on the team can point you in the right direction. If not, hold your hand to get you there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's needed nowadays because everybody used to be so stingy with information, and it's like, why? We all need to get there.
Yeah, yeah. This guy told me some years ago. He said, "Man, the best way to get what you want is to help other people get what they need. Once
Mm-hmm.
you help them, you automatically gonna get what you need." Right?
Mm-hmm.
It don't seem like it, but it's true. And I've been knowing that. That's why I help so many people. Like I help people all the time, man. Sometimes I get people that are double back. And this guy told me, he said, "Man, no, don't worry about it. Don't if you feel like somebody using you, then that's cool." And at first, I didn't understand what he was saying. He said, "No, people can use you." He said, "What a problem come in at is when they misuse you."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I
And,
think that's where it's at. Hey, you guys. So, what's y'all last closing words y'all want to leave with the people? Go ahead, Rhonda.
um, if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, really do the research on it. Know that you are going to be working more than a 9 to 5, especially starting out. So I would just recommend research.
All right, cool. Trash, what you got for the people?
Do good business. The universal law: treat people exactly the way you want them to treat you. If you treat people in business the way you want them to treat you, you will last and you can go a long way in it. When you treat people differently or you expect them to treat you, then you set yourself up for failure. So
Yep.
yeah.
I would say to the youngsters that want to be entrepreneurs, just make sure you're doing your research, know what product you're going to get into, never give up, but know when to change up. And to the older people, I would say it's never too late. You can always get in the game. I think Colonel Sanders was like 75, 80 years old before he got his first break, right? Like, so it's never too late. All right, you guys, this is We Got Problems, the podcast, and we also have solutions, and we out.
From the team at CRC Empire, we want to thank you for listening. To stay connected with us, like, share, and subscribe to the We Got Problems podcast. You can find us on social media platforms at Curtis Martin 247, at Rhonda Wrights Official, and at the_trash_vegan_. We got problems and we got solutions.